Now you may look at this drone and say, man, this thing is trashed. And you wouldn't be wrong. So we've got the camera here. This is a Phantom 4 Pro. But can we restore it? Alright, we're going to start off by removing the bottom bracket that the camera is attached to. They're hex headed screws, and it's a 1.5 hex bit that I have here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws to remove here altogether. Put them over here on our organizer. I should say this is the Phantom 4 Pro version 1, not version 2. For a little difference between the two, there may be a couple of extra antennas that the version 2 has. I think they call them sub-G antennas, but I'm not really sure. But you may have to deal with. But other than that, the procedure is the same. We're going to treat this video as two separate videos. We're going to start by replacing the shell here first. See if we can get the motors to spin up. In the second video, if we're successful with the first video and getting it to fly, we'll tackle the camera and the repair of the yaw arm for the camera. Now we're going to and we need to get in here with a Phillips to remove this plate here. This attaches the gimbal assembly to the main board here. It's a bracket that needs to come off. You see the little bracket right here. We'll put that over here in another bin. Now we can just pop the ribbon cable off here that attaches the camera assembly to the main board. We can set that aside. Next thing I need to do is, since I have this plastic spludger tool in my hand, to start removing these reflectors. The reflector is missing on this one here. No surprise there. Now we're going to lift this up carefully. It's just stuck on. And we'll just pop this over here in another bin. Now this has a little reflector here that we can push out. And they come out of each end of the arms there. Just by pushing on it. And or prying it. Use this piece to pry it out here. There we go. Works a little bit better. You can retain those and use those. There we go. Okay. You can see the LEDs right down there. We will have to replace one of those because the wires are broken on the one LED. This one here. All right. We can begin by taking the motor screws out. These are in there really tight, as they should be. You have 3 motor screws for each motor. Oops. I tell you folks, I still love these Phantom 4 Pros. I mean, you have the Mavic 3 now with the larger camera sensor, and that's definitely a quality drone, but they still have a great camera on these drones. Mechanical shutter you'd use for ortho mapping. Half-inch sensor. I have one of these. This is my second one. Should be getting up and running. I'll buy these all day if I can. Broken because they really can take a lot of abuse, particularly the electronics on the inside. The battery cages are made out of magnesium, very sturdy. Very rare that you have any internal damage, and even rarer to have an ESC go bad, unless it ends up in the water. The shells, you can replace these, and almost all the time you're up and running with no replacement of internal parts. This one here, we can't get any leverage. There we go. Once again, folks, 3 screws per motor. All these motors feel nice and free, and they're not stodgy at all, so there's no damage that I can see to the motors. Not the case for the prop mounts. We're going to have to replace some of those. Alright, let's move into the body screws here. Put those in a separate bin. It's very common for these when they crash to break right here at the vent points. You can see they both. This one did not actually. This one broke further down, but that's kind of a weak point right there where you have the vents, and oftentimes that's where they break. I'm not even sure we need to take that one off, but yeah, I guess we do to get the motor out. Throw that in the trash. You can see the broken LED wire here. And that's why we're going to have to replace the LED, which I do have new ones. One quick note, and I think I may have said this before in previous videos. I've seen some people they've attempted to cut these wires and then splice to replace motors or even replace shells. You don't want to do that. You want to desolder directly from the board. These wires are coated with some sort of coating. They do not connect very securely. Electrically not secure, even physically not secure. So don't cut the wires. Desolder them from the circuit board when you're going to take these motors out. Last one of these that I did a video on, I didn't have to replace both halves of the shell. Just the upper point here. Now before we go any further, we do need to disconnect these cables here, the antenna cables. So let's go ahead and do that. Get a screwdriver here. Little tiny screws. This is another bracket that you've got to take off. And you see you have 4 antenna wires down here. Now you think I will remember the order at this point by now, but I don't, so I'm going to take a picture of this. Because you have to put these antenna leads back in the right order. I'm sure you can look up online and find other videos, maybe even my previous video. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture here. Okay. For anybody who needs to look at these for reference, the white wire is actually down here, closer to the front of the drone. And then you have a dark gray wire as the next wire, and then you have a light gray wire as the next wire, and then up here at the very top you have a black wire. So it goes from front to back. It goes white, dark gray, light gray, and black. And you, like I said, you don't want to mix these wires up. I don't know what happens if you do, but you're not supposed to. I know that much. So we're going to go ahead and pop these off. And they should pop off relatively easily. Okay, they're all off. We need to bend these little straps up there. I believe they're ground straps. Up a little bit. Make sure those are all clear. Now we can go back to taking these. This is another screw in here that we need to remove. Get down in there. It's in there pretty deep, so you need a long driver here to get down there. This one just makes it. Interesting enough, the landing gear, well, it's got a crack over here. So, but it could be reused again. But I do have new landing gear, so we're just going to replace them. These are just screws that are meant to go into plastic. The motor screws were actually threaded machine screws. Let's see if I can get this one out of here. There we go. And we can separate this piece here, that can be thrown out. And we'll just start to pop these, separate these. The motors do stay in, they have clips. They're no longer screwed in, but they usually stay put. Now you do have to be careful. You don't want to go wrenching this apart because there is a couple of wires you have to detach. I believe they lead down to the antenna and the landing gear. So we'll carefully pop this open. I'm going to get my spludger tool. See if we can pop this open here. Don't really care about marking up the case, of course, because we're replacing this. Separated. Oh, I almost forgot. I got a couple of screws yet. Been a little while since I've taken one of these apart. That's why the shell wasn't popping off, because there's two screws right here. Alright, so we're going to put these over here. Jeez. How quickly I forget. Alright, now the shell should come apart a lot easier. Now let me get my tweezers. The two wires we need to remove are right in here. See if we can zoom in here. And these right here we're going to have to get out. There's one. I think I went off camera there. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can get the other one in here. I'll try to keep my big head out of the way. That's the other one. Okay, there you go. We'll set this aside for now. So you do have these little antennas here that have to be removed. I think they call those the sub-G antennas. I'm not sure what they do actually. So they have to come out with the entire unit. This one looks like it's already free. You have to separate the glue here on this. Zoom back out with the camera here. I'm just gonna separate this glue here, just sort of cut it, free these sub-G antennas up here. Don't ask me what a sub-G antenna is. I don't know what it does, but I do know that's what they're called. Maybe you can comment down below. If you know what they are, what they do. Okay, that's free. I'm going to free up these wires here. Get this really good DJI glue holding everything here. I also want to pop these LEDs out. You could just take something to pry with. They should pop out. Just like that. There. They're just held in by plastic nubs, and then the nubs are melted down over them. We're going to do that when we go to reinstall them. That wire's free. That wire's free. Let's get everything freed up here. It's got a little bit of glue holding that on there. Let's see if we can get that off. Now we got some screws down in here that we need to remove. Let's see. I can get to them here. These hold the actual chassis, this portion, into the top shell. And let's see where we're at here with these bins. Put that right there. Another one over here. And the next thing I'm going to do is detach the GPS unit, which is on the top of the drain underneath all this here. You got to sort of go in at an angle with this. Get these screws out. And this is again using the hex bit. some more over here. This is the 2.0 hex driver I'm using here. Okay. Now this whole thing will lift up. We don't want to go yanking up on it though, because we do have to disconnect the GPS unit. Here we go. It's coming up. That's coming up. And this side's coming up. Okay, now we're free. Now right down in here, we have a GPS connector. You can see right down in here. Need to disconnect that. There it is. All right, now we can fire up the soldering iron or soldering iron, and that's the correct way to say it. Disconnect these motor leads. Now, don't worry too much about mixing these wires up, because if you look closely here, they actually are marked. BK for black wire, GY for the gray one in the center, and WT for the white. And we'll begin by just desoldering these wires. Okay, there's the black one. Gray one. And there's the white one. Now we have the new shell here. I got these parts from Cloud City Drones. I'll leave links in the description as to where you can order parts. This comes with screws, nice fresh top section here. And this motor goes here. We don't really, doesn't matter if you mix these motors up really, but I'm going to pop this off. You can see how they just pop off just like that. Snake the wires through. Like that. This is why you have to desolder the motors, because you have to put these on. There, that's clipped on. Put that aside. Looks like about 800 is a good temperature here to desolder these leads here. Clip these motors on just like so. We can transfer over the motors here, the remaining motors. To our new top shell. That clipped in. Those are all clipped in. Okay, and we can take this, remove it from this top shell, set it aside. What we need to do is we need to transfer over the GPS unit. So we'll start by pulling this sticky shielding off. Just want to grab it by the edges here so I don't get my fingers oils all over it, because you want it to stick back to the new shell. So here's our GPS unit. We loosen this here. 3 Phillips head screws. You can just set those screws there because we're going to put this right back on the new shell. We can officially throw this out. Put this right back on here. Make sure this is nice and tight. Okay. Now we'll get our shielding. That's interesting. Looks like the top came off the GPS unit. All right, well, I'm going to put that back on the GPS unit. Should go on just like that. Go. And we can put this right back down on here. I'll feed this wire through it first. There we go. Now, you want to go ahead and solder these, or this one broken LED back on. Again, I got these new LEDs from Cloud City Drones. That one there. We're going to desolder these broken leads here. Make sure that wire is gone. That broke off there. So it looks like these leaves are already tinned. So all you need to do is just solder them on there. And we're just going to solder them in the order that you see here. Dark gray, light gray, and then white. Nice if you get this to stay up, but I can't. Yeah, let's see, maybe we can lean it against something here. A little extra solder on here. And we'll solder this on first. Dark gray, light gray, and then white. Put a little extra solder on here. It's hooked up. I'm going to actually screw the rest of these screws in here before I finish soldering down these motors. This helps to locate the motor wires a little better. Go in tight. Okay, they're in. What we're going to do now is we're going to just tack down these LEDs just by melting these little plastic standoffs here. Just touch it to it. Just like that. You can see what that looks like. I did turn the soldering iron down, the temperature down to 600. We don't need it to be 800 to melt plastic. Also want to put a little bit of silicone on these sub-G antennas. Just want to glue them in. Just like that. Just like that. A little bit of glue here to secure these wires. Put a little bit of glue up here. Secure these wires in place. There it is. The same with this side, bend it out. Okay, and this one was already missing one. So what we'll need to do is we'll have to detach these antenna leads here. Or actually, that might be the compass lead. Because you can't pull this big piece down through. It's kind of a pain. First of all, let's take the tape off here. And you're going to save this tape. You can see how these antenna cables are routed. Okay. those screws over there. Alright, let's get this compass lead back through here. It's getting blocked because of the glue here. The ever-present DJI glue. There we are. And we can pull that down through. Or actually, pull that up through. And that down through. Here's our new bottom half, and this will go up in here like this. We're going to feed this back down through. Down through this slot here. Screws back in. It's a longer screw, folks. And a shorter screw. Notice that? Longer screw goes in the back. Just don't get those mixed up. Not sure what'll happen if you do, but I wouldn't do it. You probably wouldn't be able to get the shorter screw to bite anything if you put it in the back. That's the only thing that might happen. pull this up through, and we can sneak these down. We can officially, we'll move this aside anyway. We'll need to get the tape back off it. I was going to say we can officially throw that away, but not just yet. So I do want to get that tape back. Well, we can reuse that tape. Yeah, we'll feed this connector back up in here. There it is. We'll just go ahead and put these screws in. Oops. I think I put this shorter screw here in the back. It did actually work. Put that one in the front. And the long one in the back. All right, let's connect up this compass. I got the part that's in the right orientation, so we just have to sneak it in there. That was easy. A little bit of silicone in there to secure it. Looks like DJI only put silicone on this side here. Which is understandable because you do not want that compass lead coming out. Don't have compasses on the other side. Okay. Yeah, that one goes there. All right, let's turn these around here and get these cables in place. And I know this one goes down here. Now we're ready to put this bottom on here. Let's see. First of all, we're going to have to connect up the compass leads, which are right here. Let's see here. Sure we get the compass leads out of the way here so nothing gets pinched. All right. All right, we'll refer back to our phone here so we can get these connectors right. Light gray one goes next. dark gray one goes next. And then the white one goes down here. Okay, let's put this bracket on here. A couple of tiny screws. Having magnetic screwdrivers, folks, really is almost a necessity. Okay, now I've got a couple screws to put in here. I'll put these small ones in. Right here. And right here. Put those ground straps down there. Alright, we can begin putting the shell screws in. Now the new shell came with new screws. There's no reason why we just can't use the original ones. Start with this one here. Oops. Okay, those are in. Now let's put the motor screws in here. Okay. Now, next thing we do is we put the little stickers on here. Reflectors going. Actually, we'll put the little end pieces on here next. I do have a spare reflector that I want to put on here because we were missing one. The one with a severely broken arm was gone. That's the one there. And we'll take this off. Set these screws aside. Put a new spring on. Anyway, let's get this to line up here. Here we go. Little stickers. I think there's a sticker on here too. Or is there? Yes, there is. How many Phantom 4 owners never peel these stickers off? Alright, let's put this back on. It's going to go on like that. Push that in there. Now we have a bracket to go on here. Alright, let's put our gimbal cover back on. Okay, let's give this drone a proper shakedown. folks, that'll do it for this video. If you had a Phantom 4 or Phantom 4 Pro to repair, I hope this video helped out. If it did, help me out by giving this video a thumbs up. Take care, folks, and we'll see you in the next video.